Yeah, hi everyone. So today, we are going to discuss about the SAP implementation methodology. Okay, so in the last session, I hope we have discussed about the projects and the CTC for this particular thing. I think that was very clear, right? Yes. So now we are going to discuss about the implementation methodology, how we are going to implement that projects. We have seen different type of projects like greenfield, okay, brownfield, rollout, and all these things. Okay, so that all things we need a method, right? We need to implement that, so we need a method to follow that. So we cannot able to use our own method or our own logic to discuss on this, implement on this, right? So we have to step on into the SAP methodology, which is already been defined by SAP very clearly. So what is the methodology we want to use for what are the projects we have? So for which product, which methodology we need to use, that is what we are going to see here. Okay, yes. So in this we can see here, okay, so in the basic idea to have this one, so we are going to use two methodologies here. Okay, so we are going to discuss about two methodologies. One is ASAP methodology and one is an activate methodology. So which method is used for which product? Okay, so I'll just explain particular on that. Okay, then we can discuss about that, right? Yes. So get into the screen. Yes. Okay, right. So we are going to see two things. Okay, so two methods. So how we are going to differ is, okay, so we just stick with the standard trending. Okay, what is the trending topic now? ECC versus S4HANA, that is the trending topic, right? So we can take that two things as an example, so that will have a good clarity. Also you can able to express that to the customer or wherever the interview or wherever, right? So let's take that one. Okay, so we can take the ECC, okay, product for ECC, and also we take the SAP S4HANA here. Okay, so we will take this two product. This is a old product and this is a new product. Okay, so what is the method we have used here and what is the method we have used here? So we will get the clarity. So you will be getting the clarity on that. Okay, right. So coming for this particular part, okay, so if you take the ECC here, okay, if you take the ECC here, okay, so in terms, okay, so ECC we are using a methodology called ASAP methodology. Okay, so we are using a methodology called ASAP methodology here. Okay, so same thing for this particular S4HANA we are using a methodology called, okay, so the latest one we are using as an activate methodology. Okay, we are using a methodology called activate methodology. Okay, first we are going to see about the ASAP, okay, how it is performing and all these things. Then we can go to the activate. Why I just starting with this here is, okay, so this is the old one. Okay, so definitely what is the new invention we have done? So definitely we will be taking a reference of the previous one, right? So that is a normal thing. Whatever you discover a new one, so definitely you will take a reference of the old one, right? So if you know the old one very clearly, this one will be very easy and just a piece of cake. Right, let's get into this one. Okay, what is this methodology and all these things, we can see that one. Okay, so I'll just show you the comparison just for your idea, but I'll just work it out here. Okay, that will be really, you can able to understand that. Okay, just by seeing that image, that will not be much important here, you can able to see here. Okay, so this is actually the, okay, so the methodology comparison. Okay, you can see the ASAP methodology and the activate methodology we have here. Okay, so both the things has having a almost, okay, so the real-time matching scenarios. Okay, these are the elements. Okay, these are the phases we are going to use it in the project. Okay, when you are entering into the project, okay, you will be having this all phases. Okay, what are these phases? Okay, how to handle these phases, I'm going to explain that, and same thing we are going to see it for this activate also. Okay, don't worry, I'll just work it out. Okay, I'll just make clearly understand this particular point. Okay, just for your understanding, I'm just comparing this. Okay, right. Okay, so let's get into that. Okay, so I'll just make a okay, so a real comparison here. Okay, so let's see this ECC here first. Okay, first let's go with an ECC, then we can go to the rest of the one. Okay, so in ECC we have 5 phases just now we have seen. So let's start with the phase. Okay, yes, the first one, let me write it, then I just explain same thing what we did for the project. Okay, right. So the first one is a project preparation here. Okay, so first one is a project preparation. Second one is a blueprint here. Okay, so we have a blueprint here. Okay, and third thing is a realization. Okay, you can take it as a realization. Okay, and the fourth thing you can consider as a UAT, and finally fifth one you can consider as a go live. Okay, so this is actually the process where we are using in the ASAP methodology. the 5 phases. Okay, it's a sequence of phases. Okay, so you cannot able to bypass and all these things. Okay, so you have to go in a sequence. Okay, step 1 2 3 like that, phase 1 phase 2 phase 3, you need to go in a sequence. So what is the first thing is a project preparation. Already we know that. Okay, so already we know that. Okay, so we are going to support the implementation. Okay, as a consultant, okay, we are going to support the implementation, right? Yes. So when we meet a customer, for an example, just consider that you got a project. You are a consultant. Okay, you got a project. So now you are going to the customer area. Okay, you are going to customer factory and you are visiting the customer, especially for example the metal management. Okay, for the metal management you are a consultant. Okay, so you're going and meet the particular team of a customers there. Okay, so you will be having a team, right? The purchase manager, purchase AGM, purchase head, okay, purchase engineer, purchase buyer, all the different persons in a team will meet you. Okay, and you have to start discussing with them with the first phase called as project preparation. Because what is your role? So our role is very simple. We want to understand what is their requirement and we want to give a solution from SAP. That's very simple. Okay, we want to understand what is their requirement and we want to give a solution to them. So in this project preparation phase, it's nothing but the initiation. We are going to initiate the project. Okay, so when you initiate the project, what you can able to do is we are going to collect 2 information from them. Okay, initially, okay, as a consultant I want to collect 2 information. I'll just put the SAP terminology itself. That is very easy for you to understand. From here we can use the SAP terminology here. So we are going to collect, okay, the assets and to be information. This 2 information I'm going to collect. What is this assets? Okay, assets means, okay, so in SAP we'll be using this terminology. Assets means, okay, so what is the current practice that customer is using? So this customer is going to have the SAP as a new, right? Before SAP, what they have done? So any other ERP they are using or they are using in Excel, all these things you need to understand. What is their current practice? Okay, so why we are understanding the current practice in the sense, maybe they are using some practice and all these things, maybe that is a wrong practice also. Definitely there is a chance because they will be doing a wrong practice, because we need to understand that and we have to give a right practice. Why? Because if you are not mentioning that, you are not insisting that, what will happen? So they will claim on that we are using different process, you are saying something wrong. So we have to claim that you are using the wrong practice, so we are giving the right practice. Okay, that we need to insist at the initial level itself. That is why I'm collecting this. Okay, I'm collecting the current practice and what are their gaps. Okay, what are the gaps they have? Okay, what are the things, what are the pain points they have? They have a lot of pain points. So something they cannot able to solve, some information they cannot get. All these pain points and gaps, everything you need to collect in this asset situation. For that you need to discuss with the team. Okay, you need to discuss with the persons, okay, who is in the purchase manager. All these things you have to discuss that. Then only you will arrive a solution, or else you cannot get that one. Because the project preparation, you will not think like it will take 1 hour or 2 hours to complete. It will take months. Because our SAP project, minimum in the project will take 6 months to complete. Maximum it will take more than 2 to 3 years also. So average project will be taken as 1 year. So you can take this phase. Okay, the project preparation phase, initially it will take for 1 or 2 months to collect that information, because this is not that much of easier. You have to ask lot of questions. Okay, so I'll just explain that. Okay, in this assets, so you will be collecting their current system and current process, all these things. And what is this 2B is, okay, the 2B is nothing but, so you are going to understand about, okay, so what is the solution I'm going to give to the customer, okay, from the gap points, because I collected the gap points, right? What are the gaps, what are the requirements, I got it already. So I'm going to give a solution to them. That solution is the 2B document. So as is the current and 2B is the future, what I'm going to give it from SAP. Okay, just making this is not that much of easier here, because for making this you have to make some prerequisite. First of all, I told you, right, you need to collect some information from the customer. To whom you can collect that? That is very important here. Okay, to whom you can able to collect that. So first you need to identify a decision maker. Okay, so whenever you are going to start this project preparation, okay, from my experience I'm just giving that. Okay, so because we have faced a lot of problems in this particular projects. Okay, first you need to identify the decision maker. Why this decision maker is very important? For example, just think of, okay, so you are going to discuss with the team. There will be different level of persons will be there. For an example, from the purchase engineer till the purchase manager, there will be different person. For an example, you are discussing with the purchase engineer. Okay, maybe he knows everything. We cannot judge anyone, right? So maybe he knows everything, but whatever. So you start collecting the information from him as a purchase engineer. You start collecting the information, almost you spend 1.5 months with him, and you collected all the documents. Then finally what we need to do, we need to submit to the customer again, because whatever we collect, and we need to get a confirmation from the customer. So when you give to the customer, they will simply say one thing: so he is not the decision maker to whom you got this information. You can say it is from the purchase engineer. No, he is not the decision maker, so your particular requirement you collected is wrong. So normally they will say, okay, literally they will say this one, because we have seen lot of projects in this one. So that's what I'm just clearly saying. You need to identify a decision maker. This is a practical. Okay, just think like practically you are a consultant now. Okay, so you need to identify a decision maker. So that person should have a good knowledge on the particular company, what they are doing, or all these things. Okay, so second thing, so he should be in the place of taking a decision. I mean, whatever the information he is giving, so maybe 80 to 90% it should be right. Maybe 5 to 10% it is wrong, so maybe it can be changed. It is okay, that is fine, that is acceptable. But more than that we cannot able to accept. Okay, so decision maker identification is the first thing you have to do it. Okay, if you are not taking the right decision maker, your project will fail, because it is the initial foundation. This is the basic foundation, what you are going to do, so that you are collecting here. Okay, so that information itself, it is wrong, so your entire project is wrong. Okay, so just make it very clear. Okay, yes. And second thing is, what you need is, second thing, normally we will carry one discovery form here. Okay, so we'll carry one discovery form. Okay, so what is this discovery form? Okay, this discovery form is nothing but it's a questionnaire. Okay, it's just a questionnaire. Okay, it's just a questionnaire. Okay, so what are the questions I need to ask to the customers? Okay, you might think, okay, I am an expert, right? I learned everything. I am an expert. I know all this thing about So why I need to take a question form like that? So even what are the experts you are, whatever things you are, okay, so just think like you are in a pressure situation. Okay, so when you get into the project, you will be in very hell of pressure situation there. Okay, so it's not like a very small pressure, because I told you, right, you will be taking 2 to 3 projects at the same time, so you cannot manage the pressure. So that time definitely you will lose some important questions to ask. So definitely, because also it is taking 1 or 2 months to complete this project preparation, you will not forget all the questions that you asked or completed. So better maintain the discovery form. Okay, so that discovery form will have all the questions. Okay, so what are the questions you need to ask? Okay, and don't judge the customer. Normally the consultant will judge the customer. By seeing the customer, they will identify that, okay, for this customer this is enough. Okay, we can do like this. Okay, so don't judge the customers and don't have any attitude like that. Okay, ask all the questions. Maybe their requirement is there or not, they can say yes or no. Okay, so you don't predict that, okay, so this will be their requirement. Okay, always the consultant will do like this, the project will get failed. Okay, so always ask all the questions. You have 100 questions on that, ask all the 100 questions. Be very patient, ask all the questions to them. So let them say yes or no, or else finally they will say after 1 month or 2 months, okay, we have one more requirement like this, and they will say that no, the consultant didn't ask anything related to this. Okay, that's why we didn't reveal. Okay, so this will happen for sure. Okay, so we should be very wise enough to handle the situation. So we should be very mature enough to handle the situation. Okay, yes. So these 2 things you keep in mind. So definitely it will help you on the live projects. Okay, yes. So now we got the as is and to be. We got what is the current status and what is the future thing we are giving from SAP. We got this done. So now I just want to explain this to the customer. Okay, the top level management, the stakeholders. I want to explain this. How I can explain? I cannot simply go and orally explain, right? I need a proof of document. So I'm preparing a document called blueprint. I'm going for the second phase. I'm preparing a document called a blueprint. Okay, so based on this, already I have this. So in this, so this is just a draft, right? I'm just making as a fair draft. Okay, so you can take it as a fair draft. I'm just making a fair draft and I'm going to present this to the customers. Okay, I'm going to present this. Okay, I'm just going to present this, that this is your current situation and this is what I'm going to give the solution from SAP side. So they will verify that and they may give some corrections or modifications or something. Okay, finally what we will do is we will get a sign off from the customers. Okay, that is the most important thing. Okay, so why we are getting sign off in the sense I told you, right? So when you want to conclude this and you want to start your work, so you need to get a sign off, or else what will happen, the users, the customers will keep on inserting that requirements again and again and again. Okay, so today they will conclude something, tomorrow they will come with another point and they will say this is also to be added. So that is what we cannot be able to start our project. So that is what you can see till the 2 phases gone. I didn't touch my system. I didn't touch my system, right? I didn't touch my system because I know that, okay, so I know that, okay, so I need to wait for the sign off, because without that, if I touch my system, in between they will keep on giving the changes. I cannot able to go with it. So I'll get the sign off. So after sign off, there is no changes will be accepted. That is what the condition. So we'll get a sign off. Only then I will start my project. So the realization is actually there only I touch my system. Till now, I didn't touch my system. I didn't do anything here. So in the realization here where I'm going to configure the system, okay, I'm going to configure the system here, and also I will do the testing. Okay, I'll do the testing. So whatever the commitment I've given in the 2B, right? So what are the commitments I've given in the 2B? So that I will configure here. Okay, I will configure into the system. We are going to see that regarding the configuration, all these things, don't worry. So we are going to see the configuration. We have to do the configuration, and finally we have to do the testing. So just doing the configuration will not give you the result, right? You need to do the testing, whether it is working fine or not, you need to test that. So both the things I will do it on this realization phase and make myself confident first. Okay, make myself confident that, okay, so whatever the thing I committed here, so that is done. Okay, yes. Now once I got a confident, then I will go for the phase 4. Okay, because why I want to bring the confident here, because in the 4th phase, so you are going to face the users. Okay, in the blueprint phase, so you can just met only the customers, the top level management. You just shown some document papers and you just convince them. That is easy. Okay, you can convince them with a paper. But here this is UAT. UAT stands for, it is user acceptance test. Okay, so in this user acceptance test, it is very clear that you need to convince the users, not with the document. You need to convince the user with the system, what you have configured, what you have tested. That with that particular system, you have to sit with the user and you have to convince them. And one of the key factor here is, most critical factor is, the user doesn't know anything about SAP. See how the situation is. Okay, one of the very critical phase in SAP project is UAT, because they doesn't know anything about SAP. Okay, so what you need to do before getting into this, okay, so you need to first give them the end user training. Okay, first you need to give an end user training here, how to operate this SAP from the scratch. You need to give the end user training here, and also you need to give some test cases. Okay, what is the test cases? Test cases means, okay, so you're giving a document, that document will have steps. Okay, like how that kindergartens will be giving a step 1, step 2, step 3, and they will get a result, right? Like that we have to give that SAP steps here. By seeing that, they will do, because whatever the training will give, so that needs a practice, so they cannot immediately do this one. Okay, so we need to give a test cases also. They will test each and every cases, whatever the scenarios we have just committed, every scenarios they will test by themselves one by one. So then only they will give a sign off. Here also we have a sign off. This sign off is very important, because if the sign off is not done, so if any changes or whatever we committed, the user is not happy, again we want to reconfigure the system. That is even very worse situation. Okay, so this is very critical here. So everything you have to make it perfect here. Once the sign off is given, then we will go to the final stage. Final stage is a go live. So go live is a stage where we are handing over the system. Okay, we are handing over the system to the customer and we are just leaving the project. So our work is done, because the user is now ready. So he is ready to operate that. So the training is given, everything is okay. So from that point, the users can able to take forward, because whatever I committed, I completed that. Right, so my work is done. So this is the ASAP methodology which is used by ECC here. Okay, so in ECC we have used this methodology. Okay, why I'm just saying this one? Okay, this is the one of the very successful product in SAP. So this method is very powerful here. That is what I just want to make you understand this, because the same thing we are just slightly modified and we are doing in the next phase. Okay, in the particular activate methodology, we are just slightly differentiating this. Okay, otherwise everything is same here. Okay, so now you can see this activate methodology. You will get the clarity very easily. Okay, very easily you will get the clarity here. Okay, so let's get into this also, so you can get the clarity here. Okay, so how you will be having this ASAP methodology, same way we are having this particular, okay, so activate methodology also. Okay, let's begin here. So now you can understand this very quickly. Okay, yes. So the first one, what we are going to have is we are going to have the discover phase. Okay, here. Okay, second thing, we are going to have the prepare phase. Okay, so next we are going to have the explore phase. Okay, then we have the realization phase. Again, it's coming as a realization. Okay, yes, and finally what we have is we have the deployment phase, and finally we have a run phase. Okay, yes. So there we have 5 phases, here we have 6 phases. Okay, so there will not be any much difference. Don't worry about that. Okay, so the difference will not be much. Okay, so just if you understand this, so you will get this clarity very easily. Okay, so what we are going to have is very simple. So first thing you can see a discover. So now you automatically recall the previous method. Previous method we start with the preparation, but here we are starting one step ahead. We are just doing the discovery phase here. Okay, so this discovery phase, what we are going to do is, okay, so we are going to understand, okay, so the business things. Okay, just we are understanding only the business. We are not touching any kind of things here. Okay, so we are doing one step before. Okay, so whatever the gaps, whatever the current practice, okay, all the situation. Okay, so all the current, okay, so current practices, or what is the current practice, okay, gaps, all these things we are doing in the one step before itself we are doing here. Okay, one step before itself we are doing that, and we are just checking for the values. Okay, what is the capability, what is the things, everything we are going to describe on this particular discover value. Okay, and the preparation phase. Okay, when you coming to the preparation phase, so what we normally do in the previous thing, so in the preparation only we started actually. Okay, in this preparation phase, what we are going to do is, so we are going to prepare. Okay, so initial preparation. Okay, so here again we are going to do the initial preparation here. Okay, so we are going to do the initial preparation, and especially what we are going to do is here where we are going to have the team formation. Because earlier we bring a team. Okay, earlier we bring a team and then we will discuss about the requirement. Here what we are do, first we can discuss about the current practice and gaps, all these things. Based on that we are bringing a team. I think you can clearly understand that. Okay, so based on that we bring a team. So based on the problem, based on the gaps, we are bringing the team. So expert team will be there. Okay, so that is the difference here. Okay, between that and this, the methodology, you can see a slight difference here. Okay, and also we have another thing. For an example, we are going for an exploring phase. Okay, exploring is a new phase you cannot see in SAP. Here we have an exploring phase. What we are going to do in this exploring phase is very simple. We can say one terminology here called, okay, fit to standard. Okay, we can say as a fit to standard analysis. Okay, this particular process we will do here. Okay, fit to standard analysis. What is this fit to standard analysis means? Very simple. See, normally in ASAP or ECC, wherever, so you will be whatever the customer asks. Okay, so we can do the customization and we can give that one. That is the mentality we have. But in this activate, what the system is saying is, okay, try to fit with the standard. Okay, try to fit with the standard, whatever the requirement SAP the customers are asking. Okay, so just try to fit with the standard, because in SAP, so the years and years of experience we have done the R&D and we have created this particular model. Already we have all our best practices. What are the best practices we have? Already we have in SAP. So we have given the best practice. This is the best practice for this company, for this manufacturer. Already it is there. So whatever the customers are asking, okay, so they are trying to customize or manipulate. So try to fit to the standard. Maximum you can try. Maximum you can try to fit to with the standard. So what will happen is, okay, so you will not get any problems with that one, because customization means always there will be a problem, because you are just manipulating the system. But if you try to fit with the standard, so you won't get any errors. Even the customer will be more happy. Okay, that is the thing we are doing in the exploring phase. Okay, so then once it is done, then we are going for the realization. The realization, of course, the same thing. So we are doing the configuration here. Okay, so the configuration, and we are doing the testing and all other things. Okay, so for example, data uploading. Okay, so data uploading, because whatever the data we have in the previous thing, so all the things we need to upload into the system. Okay, so these all things we need to do. Okay, so these all things we will be doing in the realization. Okay, and finally in terms of deployment. Okay, in terms of deployment, what you will be doing is, this deployment is all about the running. Okay, so it's all about like a goal line. So the deployment is all about nearby the go live here. So what we will do, we will finalize everything. Okay, so we will finalize. Okay, we will finalize what are the things we have done, everything, and we have done the UAT and all other things. Okay, everything we will do that one here. And what we will do, so we will be ready for the final thing. So the final upload. Okay, the final upload to the final system. Okay, we have different servers. I told you, right? We need 3 servers to have that one. So what is the usage of 3 servers? So we didn't see, right? We can see on the next session. Okay, on the next session, when we go to the navigation part, I'll explain about, okay, what is the 3 servers, which server is used for what is the purpose. We can see that one. This final upload will be done in one server, and this testing will be done in another server, like that. Okay, the cases will be different. Okay, so you will be understand that. Okay, you can understand that on the next session when we discuss about the navigation part. I'll explain that how the server is also working, so you will get the clarity. Okay, yes. And finally we are going for run. Okay, run is okay. So after the go live we are running the process. Okay, so then we are continuously monitoring. Okay, so it is a continuous monitoring. Okay, so here we are doing the continuous monitoring here. Okay, so how the system is working, where are all the gaps we are getting. Okay, so if any problem we are getting, or users cannot able to adapt to this, or the system is not operating as per the commitment, so something. Okay, so we need to continuously we are monitoring here. So this kind of method is called as activate methodology. Okay, almost it is similar to ASAP. Okay, it's not that much of tougher here. So almost it is similar to the ASAP, the previous one. But thing is, something additional we are doing here, because some more effort we are putting here. Some more effort, because the S4 HANA is little bit complicated and it's a feature loaded. So we need to take some extra effort. So like that fit to standard analysis, these kind of things we are trying more in this S4 HANA. So comparing with ECC. Okay, so comparing with ECC, we are just doing something more to bring the system very, we are bringing very strong system to the customer, and they should not face any kind of errors in the future. That is what our ultimate aim to handle this. Okay, so now this is called as a, okay, so SAP Activate methodology here. So this methodology is dedicated for S4 HANA. How this ASAP methodology is dedicated for that so for ECC. So here this activate methodology is dedicated for, okay, S4 HANA. Okay, so this is what we have here. Okay, so if you do any projects in previously what we have seen in the different type of projects, so that projects can be done in this particular phase. Okay, so that is what we have mentioned here. So as per the thing, so this 2 method is going to run the show. Already the ASAP is done, so ASAP methodology we are not using, because there is no more ECC, but the reference of ASAP will reflect in activate also. That is why I just taught you this ASAP also before this activate. Okay, so you can clearly understand that this method you need to follow that, so you don't have any other option. Okay, so always the consultants will have an attitude to use any other their own technique on their own forms, so never do that one. Okay, so we are not an inventors. Okay, so we are just an implementers. Okay, so whatever the implementation we are going to do, just follow the instruction, because it is already been defined, so we don't want to worry about that. So whatever we do, so just we want to go with the methodology what we follow here. Okay, yes, so activate methodology is the methodology we are going to use. So we are using this particular method to implement our SAP S4HANA, right? Yes. So I hope the SAP implementation methodologies is very clear. So we have seen for the latest trending methodologies like ECC and S4HANA. I hope it will be very clear for you guys. Okay, so the next topic, so what we are going to have is, so the most awaited topic, so we are going to have this SAP architecture and navigation. Okay, SAP architecture and navigation. Normally the people will think this architecture is a technical subject. Okay, why a functional subject? Why a consultant? As we need to learn this one. Okay, so nothing is like a technical and all these things. Okay, just by understanding this, before entering into an SAP core, you need to understand how this architecture has been built, how SAP is internally working. You need to understand that, right? Because how SAP is externally working, we can understand clearly, but how internally it is working. For an example, if I give a data into the system, how the data is flow into the system and how I'm getting the output. Or if I'm storing some information into the system, how it is getting stored. What are the technologies we are using? So in architecture, you can see the technologies. what all the technologies we have used, especially in S4 HANA, we have very important technologies we are using here. Okay, so what is the technology we are using here? Okay, how this technology is helping us to improve our performance? Okay, how we can improve our performance? All these things we are going to see that, and along with that we are going to discuss about the navigation also, because you are a beginners. Okay, so you don't have any aware of how to operate SAP, right? We are going to discuss on that particular part. Okay, how to operate this navigation. Okay, how to operate this one. Okay, so what is the tool we are using? What are the different type of tools we have in SAP? How to connect with the tools? How the tool is working? Okay, you need to understand that also. Just should not use whatever the tool we are giving you. Just you should not use that. Okay, first feel that what is the tool, how to operate the tool, what are the different type of tools is available. So for us, which tool is better, so you can get into that, how to operate the tool, so automatically you will get this particular thing. Along with that, so I'll just explain you about the servers also. So I told you, right, 3 servers. Okay, how the 3 servers are there, in which server which work will be carried out, everything we can able to see. Okay, so based on that we can able to. Okay, yes. Okay, that's all for the session today. Okay, so on the next session we'll meet on the SAP architecture and navigation. Okay, so thank you so much.